I definitely got to touch on this Cam Newton situation because I was a fan of Cam Newton throughout his whole career.
I just saw that video everyone's talking about of Cam Newton talking to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant about how he has 8 children by 3 different women and still wants to get married. And he doesn't see anything wrong with that.
Nothing upsets me more than y'all making excuses for people's poor behavior when it comes to children as long as they got money.
I understand I'm not a father. I understand that I'm not a parent. But I understand where that therapist was coming from, and she was more than right. There's so many things, little microscopic things that you can miss if you have a bunch of different kids by a bunch of different women that your money, your resources will never be able to fix within that child.
Trying to police the villain is crazy. We need to be talking to the women who will willingly get pregnant by a millionaire. On purpose! Did I ask what? They try and get in his space so that they can get pregnant by him. Baddies, beautiful women, smart women, women who know exactly what they're doing.
So if y'all don't know, I'm the 3rd one, and this is his 6th child. Someone said, ooh. Right, couldn't have been me. All right, so Larissa put that pressure on you.
This therapist, Dr. Bryant, recently was on a podcast where she did an interview that Cam Newton probably shouldn't have put out and just kept private. And it has started a lot of conversations and online chatter about men and women purposely making broken homes. Let's get into it.
People see my situation and not think that I'm not high function.
What situation?
See my situation? That's a very vague question, and it's for you
What
to
situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high function?
Just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from, this is, can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yes, more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8, okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I
of
just want
or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just.
Because
bring him,
my
okay.
point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you would say it, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active, okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far, but these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm gonna go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm gonna build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't gonna create a home in them. I'm gonna wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're gonna feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health-wise, and community-wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men will what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless, but you over here at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will, you'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish.
Look at Cam sit there looking like, am I gonna put this video out? Somebody on his team should have told him, no, don't put this video out. Skip this one, because this lady is right. I have seen a lot of men in comments talking straight trash about this particular lady here, but I don't think a lot of those particular men have ever been to therapy or experienced it to really know how it goes. This sounds like something I've heard male therapists tell men. You guys can't even tell me that maybe even Kevin Samuels would have said something along these lines to Cam. There are plenty male therapists that would have sat there and told another man, hey bro, you have no discipline and you don't like condoms. And the only reason you don't want to get married as a man is because you know you will lose half of your assets if this marriage don't work out and you get a divorce. And that's completely fine. But as men, we can't be supporting men just out here making babies just to be making them. And this is why I'm glad that KS did put requirements on the list of what a real high value man really is. What this lady is representing is a performance coach. Most men who operate at high levels, they all openly get guidance from therapists so they can correct their ways, so they can make the next right move.
Because he thinks that he is a great father and provider for all of his 8 children. And I want to pose a different perspective on the issue because that's messed up and I think we all know that. Number one, no amount of money in the world can buy you time. And a lot of these people we idolize that are good at sports or good at music or whatever, every hour we see them playing in a basketball game, sitting on a podcast, whatever, are hours they're spending not raising their children. Just because you're paying the bills and your kids go to a nice school and drive a nice car and wear nice clothes does not mean you're raising them. A broken home is a broken home, whether it's an apartment or a mansion. And social media has us all messed up because we can see videos of these men giving their kids these beautiful birthday presents and parties and blah, blah, and we're like, damn, he's a great dad. But they don't be raising them kids. No amount of money can buy you more than 24 hours in a day. And you expect me to believe that you spent 2 hours sitting on a podcast couch talking about your kids and you're somehow still physically present and there for every single one of them? You're raising all of them?
Nothing upsets me more than y'all making excuses for people's poor behavior when it comes to children as long as they got money. As soon as I hear somebody use money as an excuse as to why somebody can be out here being negligent when it comes to the men that they choosing to procreate with, whether it be men going out here and creating broken homes, whenever your default answer to said bad behavior is, well, they got the money, they can support them, the kid ain't gonna be hurting for nothing. I know one thing about you, you're broke mentally. Your brain, you're broke mentally to believe that. When I hear y'all talk like that, I have to assume you didn't grow up in a 2-parent household and you grew up deprived and you've convinced yourself that if you had just got those toys that you wanted, if you had just grew up in a bigger house, if your parents had just been able to buy you those new shoes and clothes, you just would have ended up turning out so much better. And now you have really truly convinced yourself that anybody who does have enough money to be able to provide their children that type of lifestyle, they're going to be fine just as long as the money and material things are there. Doesn't matter whether or not there's an active father. Doesn't matter whether or not the man ain't hitting on nothing that you had a child by. Those things actually are important. As somebody who grew up in a household with both my mama and my daddy, and I was a spoiled brat, so I got all sides of it, I got to see that the most important thing wasn't the material stuff that they was buying me. Although I appreciate how hard they worked to do that stuff for me, it wasn't what impressed me the most. What impressed me the most was their presence.
I'm gonna be honest, it's not a hard concept to understand that if you as a man, you have a child with someone, or you have 8 kids with 3 or 4 different baby mamas, and then you still want to get married to someone that is not one of the parents to your child, it is not hard to understand that, yes, that is technically a broken home. It's not hard. We as men talk about how important it is that kids have their fathers in their life, but then when we talk about a broken home, all of a sudden we're like, no, it's not a broken home because I provide for my kids financially. Provide for my baby mamas. I give my baby mamas homes. I give my baby mamas money. As we all know, there is so much more to being a father than just providing shelter, providing finances, and being there for your kids some of the time. First off, if you have 8 kids by different women, there's no way you can be there for all those kids equally. You will spread yourself thin. You will have to miss some occasions, especially during graduation season. What about those nights where you want to be with dad because you had a bad dream? What about those nights where you want to come home for school or wait for dad to come home and tell him how great your dad was, but your child can't do that because dad's with his other family? I understand I'm not a father. I understand that I'm not a parent, but I understand where that therapist was coming from, and she was more than right. There's so many things, little microscopic things that you can miss if you have a bunch of different kids by a bunch of different women that your money, your resources will never be able to fix within that child.
That's why I'm not even having any more kids. If I know I can't get that child 100% of my time and be in their life like that, I wouldn't even try to bring a child into this world. Can't see that child or be there with that child all the time. Like, no.
I'm not seeing it the same way y'all seeing it. Y'all keep saying, oh, she read him. She ate him up. All I heard was a man who lives in reality and a woman who knows textbook definitions of stupid men. I'm not saying that Cam Newton is smart for what he's doing. I actually, preach against shit like that. I made a video last week saying that the problem with a lot of dating that's going on is the big, tall, rich, handsome guy who make videos talking about, I'll fuck with 4 right now, I don't care. They're the ones who need sexual discipline and they're ruining everything. I agree with that whole premise, right? Cam Newton got 8 kids with 3 women and wants marriage and wants more kids and woo-de-woo-de-woo. And the lady talking about, you're not God, you can't do this, you can't do that. But he lives in a reality by which he can, because there's still women, a lot of women, a lot of smart, young, attractive women who will still willingly get pregnant by Cam Newton. So his reality doesn't line up with all her smarts. With every degree she has, she cannot combat that. And that's why when we have these conversations, women get so mad when men try to hold them accountable, because you can't hold Cam Newton accountable. This is one of those situations where it's like, instead of y'all be yelling, like, instead of telling a woman what to wear and where to go, how about we tell grapists to stop graping? You could never do it. I think the grapists know that graping is bad. Telling them to stop, there's literal laws against them. They're not gonna stop. King Von knew murder was illegal. He still did it. Trying to police the villain is crazy. We need to be talking to the women who will willingly get pregnant by a millionaire. Stop it, ladies. Y'all want to get on here with these think pieces talking about look at how bad these men are, woody woody woo. Half of y'all talking would get pregnant by that man. On purpose. The problem is the women who will still procreate with this man. Y'all get on here, y'all talk about Nick Cannon, y'all talk about all these guys, right? Yeah, he's the guy at the top of it who needs to answer for all of it. But why are there still women who will willingly get pregnant by these men? On purpose. Did I ask what? They try and get in his space so that they can get pregnant by him. Baddies, beautiful women, smart women, women who know exactly what they're doing. So you can't tell him that he got this complex and he might be a narcissist and he this and he that and he this, when his reality, all he sees is beautiful young women trying to get pregnant by him. One of y'all are wrong about real life. One of y'all are wrong about real life. As a father, I know it take a lot more than money to raise a child. He got 8 of them talking about he wants some more.
What Cam need to do is just marry these women, but marry these women in his own private ceremonies. Marry these women without the state involved in it. You don't need a marriage license. If these women are worried about money, if something happens to that man, he can just set up accounts, set up life insurance policies, whatever. Those women will be taken care of just as if it was a legal marriage. And of course, he can just always live the poly lifestyle with all of these women and the kids up under one roof in one household. Cam Newton just should be living the poly lifestyle, and especially when all the kids can grow up with each other in one family. So a lot of these women may be down to just be up under one roof and he can see the kids every day, because that's the only way he can fix this. But the truth be told, there are kids who grew up in a 2-family household and everything was great and dandy, and they grew up to be broken anyway. So I do think the whole narrative behind, these kids come from broken homes, a lot of people come from broken homes and still make a way for themselves to have a healthy, functional life themselves, and they grow up to end up having kids and families, and those families are fine too. These kids and all of us will be all right. But anyways, I'm gonna stop the video right there, and you guys be sure to drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about this situation. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.